Welcome to Table for One. I'm the narrator, and in today's video, I'm doing a solo playthrough of Nemesis. And in this video, I'm going to use the alternative side of the board, and I'll include the blood test deck, and I'm going to be playing two-handed solo using the mechanic and the soldier. Let's get rolling. Alright, so I am all set up to play a game of Nemesis. I am playing two-handed today. I have never done this before with Nemesis, so I'm going to give it a shot. And if it works well, then I'll continue to play two-handed Nemesis throughout this whole Nemesis series that I am embarking on. You know, if for no other reason, it'll allow me to just showcase twice as many of the different characters then. So if I can pull it off, then that's what I'll do. So this token here is the first player marker. I'll pass it back and forth between each round. I'm also showing today the B side of the Nemesis board. So it's just, on the back side of the board. So that's a little bit different, as well as the blood test deck. I've got that in the game as well. So if you would like to learn more about either of those components or how they work, I've got details in rules refresher videos that were released today, and they're in my Nemesis playlist. Otherwise, other things to know, since I'm playing two-handed, I am treating this as a two-player fully co-op game. So I'm following those rules. So it's a little different than solo. So normally when you play true solo, when you reveal a room tile and gain an exploration token, you take whatever number of items are in that room on the exploration token and you divide it in half, and then you round it, I believe, up. Yeah, you round it up. And that's how many items you use. But in a two-player fully co-op game, you just use the number that's on the back of the token. So I will be following that rule. Also, when you play solo, then you normally draw two of these co-op objectives, solo co-op objectives, and you choose which one you want to keep after the first invader comes out. I'm not going to do that again today. After the first intruder comes out, they're intruders. But when you play fully co-op, each player just draws one at random, and that's what you've got. So I've got one of these for each player. I'm playing, I don't know if I said this, with the mechanic and the soldier, and I am including the trait cards that come with the Aftermath expansion, but they are meant to be used with the base game if you had it. I would not play without them if I had the option to use them, even though I don't know if I'll actually interact with them today, but I'll go over those in a moment. And then last note on some components, these are not the real exploration tokens. These are just some blanks that I had my friend print up for me. Right now, at time of recording, we do not have any replacements available on Brain Bucket games. These are just not very premium pieces. They're just little gray and black question marks. But I think we might make some nice ones. But in the meantime, I'm just using these blanks, and then all the originals, the cardboard ones, are here in this Brain Bucket Games draw bag. So I'll just draw these as I need them. I just find that method to be a lot simpler for setup purposes. And then likewise, I'm just using a Brain Bucket bag for all the invader tokens. So this is the token bag, because the default Nemesis bag is just a little small in my opinion. It gets kind of crowded. So let's maybe go over these two characters real quick. So we've got the mechanic, who will be starting as the first player. Their trait card is Handyman. It says you can use your starting item and your quest items as yellow items when performing a craft item action. So I don't know if that's the most useful thing ever, but here's the crafting chart here. It's a mechanic I rarely interact with, but the mechanic also has a card. I'll find it. Ingenuity, where one of the things they can do is craft an item, and you can use any yellow item as the screwdriver icon. So I suppose your starting item and your quest items can also be screwdrivers to make the taser or the flamethrower. So that's the trait. We've got two quest items. The first is a flashlight. So as usual with all these quest items, you have to discard one card as the cost to activate this. And this one, you have to discard an energy charge as well. And then when you get the flashlight, This item cannot be used in combat. It costs 2 cards to use, and it lets you perform a search action. So it's a very expensive way to perform a search, but it could be handy if you don't have a search card and you really need to search. The other quest item is Plasma Torch. This one's much better. So you have to activate this one in the storage room. So we're going to be looking for the storage room for the mechanic, and it costs 1 card to use. I don't know why I'm holding it all the way over there. And it says, open or close one door in a corridor connected to the room you are in. Destroyed doors can be closed using this item. So that's pretty unique. Cannot be used in combat, but that could be really useful. So we'll probably try and get that. And then our objective for the mechanic is special delivery. It says finish the game in an escape pod or hibernation with an intruder egg object. So the mechanic is looking to get an egg, and then as it said, go into hibernation or use an escape pod. If we look at the cards, we'll highlight some of these. Computer skills, we didn't see that in the last video with the scout, so 0 cost. If the mechanic is not in combat and in a room with a computer that is not malfunctioning, don't forget, then you can either open or close one door in a corridor connected to the room you're in, or if you're in a room with a computer, use its room action without paying its cost. That's really cool. Another search card. Pyrotechnics is strong. Discard any item to place a fire marker in the room you are in, or discard a fire marker from the room you are in. I think that top half's probably a lot more useful in competitive play, or in semi co-op with the trader mechanic. Demolition, no cost on that one. Destroy one closed door in a corridor connected to the room you're in, or place a malfunction marker in the room you're in. What else have we got here? Interruption, rest, ingenuity. So this is the crafting one. The other 2 items on here, again, this is not in combat. Either discard the malfunction marker from the room you're in, or repair or break the engine in the engine room you're in. So not surprisingly, the mechanic is really good at fixing things. So they can start fires, they can put out fires, they can easily remove malfunctions or repair the engines, which tells me we should probably because the mechanic either needs to finish the game in hibernation or in an escape pod. Let's try and make sure the ship is working. So I'll probably want to send the mechanic back to these engines. What else? We've got fast repairs. Again, discard a malfunction marker from the room you're in, or repair or break the engine. Is that the one I just read? No, yeah, it's just the same as Ingenuity, but Ingenuity also has the crafting. That's neat. So the mechanic should have no trouble fixing stuff. And finally, technical corridors. This one's really cool. So this one has a cost of 1 card. Use in a room with a technical corridor's entrance. Move your character to any other room with a technical corridor's entrance. You must pass after this action. So that's pretty neat. Now, it's not explicitly called out on the card, but on the B side of the board, we have 2 different technical corridors here. So when I use that effect, if I'm in this room using it and I'm entering this blue technical corridors, I'm only going to emerge in another room with a blue technical corridors, not one with only a red. I don't know that you necessarily have to do it that way, but that makes a lot of sense. So that's the way I'm going to do it. So let's shuffle up that deck so I don't quite know where everything is. Just mash it a bit. And then we can go over the mechanic. So the mechanic, they have a trait called Rush. Let me grab that. Rush says you may deal yourself 1 light wound to perform 3 actions in a single round. So situational, but good to have. Then we've got a couple quest items here. The first one is armor. So discard tools or duct tape to activate this item. And armor must be in combat, 1 use only. You may discard this card after an intruder attack to ignore that attack. That's really cool. That would be useful to have. The second is the autoloader, second quest item that is. This says activate this item in the armory room. So we're looking for the armory for the soldier. And you add this to your assault rifle, which is the starting weapon, which I'll talk about starting weapons in a second. So you add this. This gives your assault rifle +1 ammo capacity. And if the assault rifle is loaded using the energy charge item, that action cost is 0. So that's pretty cool, and it encourages you to look for some energy charges. Let's talk about starting items. So the mechanic has a sawed-off shotgun. So it starts with 2 ammo, and it says unmodified rolls of 1 damage. So if you roll this and when you're in combat, are treated as 2 damage. So that can be handy, depending on if the dice want to play nice with you or not. And then the soldier starts with the assault rifle, which has 5 ammo. And this is pretty cool. Each time you deal at least 1 injury, deal 1 additional injury. So you can be doing 2 or even 3 damage at a time. That's really cool. Let's go through the action deck for the soldier now. We've got search. Soldier can do basic repairs, but the action costs 2 cards. So unlike the mechanic who could do that for 0 cards, it's harder for the soldier to do, but they can do it. We have taking aim. It's only in combat, 0 cost. Perform a shoot with your energy weapon. You can re-roll your first result on the combat die. That's really cool. We got search, covering fire, again in combat. This one says discard 1 ammo. You and or one other chosen character within your room may escape the room, moving to the same room without triggering an intruder attack. So that's powerful. We've got demolition, no cost on that one. Rest, interruption. Nerves of steel. This one's interesting. Discard this card during a surprise attack to ignore its effect. Really cool. So, no cost because you can only do it when it's not your turn, when you're getting surprise attacked. And the last one is full auto. This one I don't know about so much, but it has a cost of 0, and it says discard all ammo from the assault rifle to perform a shoot action. You deal 1 additional injury for every 2 ammo discarded, even if you miss. I think that's pretty desperate. You gotta be pretty sure you're gonna take out whatever it is that you're fighting because you're not gonna have any ammo left after that. So I don't know how much I like that one. Otherwise, I think we are about ready to go. Oh, I didn't talk about the soldier's endgame goal here. So that one's called Emergency Postmortem. And it says place the blue character corpse, which is the one that starts in the hibernatorium at the beginning of the game, in the surgery room. So that's something I'd like to do anyway, because that can help me investigate an intruder weakness. So have to do that. So I've just got to get that corpse to surgery, and then the mechanic's got to get an egg, which is not my favorite thing to do. But I think that's it. I think that's it for setup, and we can get started. So strategically, again, we're looking for a couple particular rooms to unlock some quest items, but the mechanic should probably head towards engines. That seems like a good place for them to be, because we might end up trying to escape through the hibernatorium. And the soldier, I'll probably have them pick up this corpse and start looking for the laboratory for this co-op goal. But other than that, I'm not sure I really have any particular plan. I don't know if I'd rather start with them together or start separated. I feel like I want to have them go different paths to explore the map more quickly, and then maybe try and meet up around here in the middle. Or maybe here, I don't know. Ooh, this is a tough map, but have them meet up somewhere after they've explored a little bit, and we kind of have a lay of the map, and then have them try and stick together, and maybe have the soldier protect the mechanic. But let's get started. Let's deal 5 cards from the top of the deck to each player. So this is where the multi-handed might be an issue. I've got, as you can see, my layout. The board is just so large, and it's a little bit of an awkward size. That I've got plenty of space like on the side, but it's hard to find a spot for all of these cards so that we can see them. So I'm doing my best. 5 cards for the soldier as well, because if this were truly a 2-player game, both players would draw their cards, and they're cooperating, so they'd be able to talk. So we can see what the soldier has before we start making decisions for the mechanics. We got basic repairs, rest, full auto, demolition, and interruption here. And then over here we've got interruption, computer skills, rest, search, and pyrotechnics. And maybe I'll put the first player token like here. Okay, the mechanic, I'm going to have them move down this way. So I'm going to spend 1 card to move. I'll just do a normal move action. And I'll start with the interruption card because I don't intend to interrupt myself. So that one's discarded. And now I'll move down to here. So we're going to need to draw an exploration token and reveal this room. And oh man, we have the nest right away. So I guess I'll be grabbing that egg, which will be super dangerous to be holding on to throughout the game, but I might as well get it now. So let's draw that exploration token. There's no items in the nest. We got malfunction, but you can't have a malfunction in the nest either. So we just discard this without using it, and that's fine with me. And I've got to roll for noise too. Let's not forget that. So let's roll, and we get 3. So we place a noise token here in corridor 3, and I've got another action to take. There's a couple things I want to do. I want to take an egg, and that's a room action that'll cost 2 cards. I wouldn't mind actually using pyrotechnics to light the nest on fire, but I think I'll get stuck there and start getting injured, and that'll cost another card. And I'll be, just I'll be stuck in the nest then, and it'll be on fire. But I think that'd still be neat. I think I kind of want to do it. But if I am going to start a fire, which is a pretty dangerous thing to do, I don't want it to spread. So I think my second action, I'm going to use computer skills. So that costs 0, and I can open or close 1 door in a corridor connected to the room I'm in. So I'm going to place a door here in corridor 4 so that because doors can stop the spread of fire, so that way fire doesn't spread to the hibernatorium. And I'm using these doors that came with the lockdown stretch goals because they're kind of cool because you can actually destroy them. They come apart in a couple pieces. So I always play with these because it's fun. All right, so that was 2 actions from the mechanic. Now we go to the soldier. And the soldier is going to start by spending 1 card. I'm going to spend interruption to take this basic action, pick up a heavy object. So I'm going to grab this corpse token because we need to take it to the surgery room. Oh, surgery. That just dawned on me now. I was thinking the laboratory. That would be more useful. Surgery, I don't know what the point of that is. But I guess that's where I'm going. So if I can find the laboratory first, that would be better. But I will spend this rest card to take the basic action of moving, and I'm going to move the other way. So I'm going to go up to this room here. So let's reveal what it is. We have the comms room. That's where you would send the signal, yellow room type. Let's grab an exploration token. So I get my draw bag here, draw 1 token, and we have 2 objects in the room, and we're going to close the door behind us. So this door closes, 2 objects in the room. We're not following solo rules because we're playing a quote-unquote 2-player game. And now I do need to roll for noise. So let's roll the noise die. Ooh, and we have danger. Okay, so that happened fast. If an intruder was adjacent to this comms room, then it would enter combat with the soldier, but instead, since that's not the case, we're just going to add noise to every surrounding corridor, including this red technical corridor. Okay, and now I guess I can get rid of that token. We go back to the mechanic who has 3 cards in hand. And I think I'm just going to pass. I think I'm going to wait it out, draw a couple more cards, and then next turn I can grab the egg. Maybe I grab the egg now, set it on fire next time. Yeah, actually, that's what I'm going to do. So the room action here in the nest is spend 2 cards to take 1 egg from the intruder board, remembering that it is a heavy object, so we'll have to put it in our hand. And after that, we have to perform a noise roll. So we're going to spend 2 cards, search and rest, to take that egg. And it's a heavy object, so we're carrying it. And now we need to do a noise roll. Definitely setting myself up for some danger very quickly. Let's roll this. 3. Wouldn't you know it, we're going to have an encounter in the nest. So let's draw a token and see what we're going to encounter. Come on, blank token. We have an adult. Okay, so we're going to remove all the noise tokens surrounding the nest. We are just getting right down to business this game. So let's flip over now this adult token, and it is a 3, and I only have 1 card in hand, so I'm going to get surprise attacked as well. Perfect. So let's put an intruder on the map and draw an intruder attack card. This may be a very short game. Which is typical of my Nemesis games. We've got Claw Attack, which does include adults, so I get attacked. The character suffers 2 light wounds and gets an contamination card. So 2 light wounds, 1, 2, and a contamination card is going to go to the top of this deck. All right, Claw Attack, perfect. So I don't think I want to set fire to the nest anymore. I can't do that when I'm in combat, so that option's kind of out, and I don't think I want to go head to head with this thing. So I am going to discard Pyrotechnics for my second turn, or my second action this turn, to run. So I'm going to try and escape combat, but I do have to get attacked. So we draw another intruder attack card. We have Claw Attack. Man, that is the same one. It's just a different number top left. Same attack. So adult attack again, 2 light wounds, and get a contamination card again. So there's another contamination. And then 1 light wound is going to get me a serious wound, and the second light wound puts me there. So let's grab a serious wound now. This is going swimmingly. And I have bleeding. Each time you pass in the player phase, your character suffers 1 light wound. Oh my goodness. I am going to be dead in short order. This is going to be a real quick game. Okay, so I am bleeding. I've got 2 contamination cards. I've run over here. And we have, the emergency room. Well, I do need that. So let's grab an exploration token. So that's going to come out of this draw bag here. And we have malfunction and 2 items in the room. Of course, there's a malfunction. I need to use the room action. So 2 items and a malfunction token, and I believe I need a roll for noise still. Yes, I still perform a noise roll. So watch me get danger now and bring that adult back over here. 1. Okay, so I place a noise token in corridor 1. Now that was my second turn, or my second action. So now I pass, and because I have bleeding, well, I guess I don't pass yet, because I think passing is an action. So I think I just stop. I hand it over to the soldier now. What am I going to have the soldier do? I've got basic repairs, full auto, and demolition. I think I'm going to spend demolition to do a basic movement action. So I'm going to move from here to here. Let's explore it. We want to see what's around. We've got the armory. Oh, that's a great place for the soldier to be. Let's get our exploration token. So again, we draw 1 from this bag. And we get, it's on fire. That's unfortunate. We're getting all the good stuff this time. So the room's on fire. There are 2 items in here. So rotate this to here. And I still have to roll for noise, so I will probably roll a 4 based off of how this game's going so far. A 2, okay? So I place a noise token in corridor 2, and I think now I was going to pass, but maybe I move again because I don't want to stay in that room if it's on fire. But you know what? Who cares about a little fire? Let's discard basic repairs. Discard that in the armory to unlock this quest item, auto loader. So we've got the auto loader now. This goes with my assault rifle. So the assault rifle has +1 ammo now, so I could go up to 6. I'm still at 5 now, but it could go up to 6. And if the assault rifle is loaded using the energy charge item, that action cost is 0. So I'll just place that there like that. And I've just ended my turn in a room that is on fire, so I take a light wound. Now it's back to the mechanic, and the mechanic is going to pass. And because I am bleeding, I suffer a light wound. Now it's back to the soldier. And you know what? I suppose I can still get out of there. It's not a great idea to have no cards, but I'm going to spend one card to take a basic move action and come over here. Since there's no noise over here, I think it's relatively safe. So let's find out what we've got. This is the laboratory. Oh, and that's good because I have this heavy object, or this character corpse. So we can find an intruder weakness. So we're in the laboratory. Let's explore it. So I'm definitely getting through the map a lot quicker two-handed. Not a big surprise. That seemed like it'd be one of the benefits. We have, silence and one item in the lab. Silence. Where was that luck earlier? Okay, get rid of that. And I have no more cards, so now I will pass. The soldier will pass. So now we go to the event phase. So first we move the time track, so the next round will be on 14. Then intruders attack. There are no none of my characters are in combat, so no intruder attacks. No intruders take any fire damage. So now we resolve an event card and we have occlusion. Okay, perfect. So there's only an adult on the board, and this says that creepers, breeders, and queens will move. So this adult does not move. That's actually a good thing. I don't want it coming this way. I don't really want it to bust up that door. Each character with a larva on their character board dies, and then every character draws 4 cards from their deck and scans all drawn contamination cards. If they have at least one infected card, put a larva on their character board, discard the drawn cards. So that's going to be some weird deck cycling. I know I don't have any contamination in either of my decks because we haven't seen these cards yet. The game just started. So I'm really just going to discard the top 4 cards off of each character's deck. So we have Demolition, Technical Corridors, Ingenuity, and Search. And for the soldier, we have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have Covering Fire, Search, Search, and Taking Aim. Okay, well, that could have been worse. Let's get rid of that event card. And the last step of the event phase is we have bag development. So I need to draw one of these intruder tokens from the bag, and I get an adult. So that means every character performs a noise roll. We put this back in the bag. The mechanic is still player 1, so they're going to roll first. So the mechanic rolls and gets a 2. All right, that's going to be right there. And now the mechanic rolls. Let's roll anything but a 2, ideally. A 4. Okay, these two knuckleheads are making a lot of noise out there. And now we are going to go to time track 14, start the next round. So we're going to pass the first player token over to the soldier. Everybody draws up to 5 cards. The soldier gets Nerves of Steel. And now we need to shuffle this deck. And I think I'm going to plan for the soldier on scanning this character corpse in the laboratory. That would be good. And I do think I have to figure out what that room is because it might be surgery, which is what I'm looking for the soldier's objective. Okay, 4 more cards here. We've got Covering Fire, Search, Full Auto, and Interruption. Okay. Try and make enough room for these. It is a little tight playing two-handed. But hopefully you can kind of tell what's going on. And we'll put this bleeding card up here. Now we need 5 cards for the mechanic as well. The first one is going to be Fast Repairs. That's good. We needed that. Shuffle up these. We've got a couple contamination cards in here. We're going to need to fix this emergency room because I think I can use it to get rid of that bleeding card, that serious wound. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4 more cards. I think I got 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yes, okay, so we've got computer skills, demolition, rest, and search. Kind of good for now, bad for later. I didn't get any contamination cards, so I still got 2 of them in there. And I'll put one on top of the stack here. Fast repairs, demolition. Okay. There we go. So that's what's in the mechanic's hand. And the soldier is starting. So the soldier is going to take the laboratory room action, which costs 2 cards. I'm going to spend interrupt because that doesn't do anything for me. And I think full auto. Let's get rid of that. So spend 2. I'm holding a character corpse. I do not need to drop it, but I analyze it, which is going to show us this character corpse intruder weakness. And we have vulnerability to energy. Any energy weapon attack that deals at least 1 injury deals 1 additional injury. Oh, that's excellent. Because both of these starting weapons are energy weapons, and that's going to apply to all intruders. That's not just adults or something. So that's great. So now for my next action, I think I'm going to go over to this death trap here and probably get into a battle. So I'm going to spend search to take a basic action, basic movement, move the soldier over here, and we're going to find, oh, surgery. Great. So that's what I needed to find. So I'm glad I did this. I can drop this heavy item in here and achieve that objective. So we go to surgery. We need to grab the exploration token. So we grab our draw bag and draw something good, I hope. We get malfunction. That's okay, because I don't think I'm using the surgery room effect. So there's 1 item in the room. I need to place a malfunction marker. So that goes here. And now I need to do a noise roll. So let's roll for noise. We want to avoid 1 and 4. 3 and 2 would be okay. And we get a 3. So we place a noise token here. There's a lot of noise. And then as a free thing you can do, it's not really an action, so even though I've taken 2 actions, I can still do this for free. I can drop this blue character corpse token here in surgery, an emergency postmortem. Place the blue character corpse object in the surgery room. This is done. So we'll just flip it over to show that we've accomplished it. And now the soldier can just hang out with the mechanic and try and keep them alive, and best of luck there. So now we go back to the mechanic. They get to take a turn, and the first thing they're going to do is use fast repairs. So 0 action card cost. I can discard a malfunction marker from the room I'm in. So we will fix the emergency room. And so now for my second action, I'm going to use computer skills. So 0 card cost here. It says, oh, this is if you're in a room with a computer. There is no computer in the emergency room. Shoot, I thought I'd be able to take the room action without paying its cost. That is not the case. So maybe let's do this instead. I have search. Let's do search. We'll go from 2 green items in this room down to 1. And now I grab 2 of these green item cards and get to keep 1. I've got clothes and alcohol. I don't think either of those are what I want. Well, oh no, clothes will work. Clothes will be good. So we get rid of alcohol. That goes to the bottom of its respective deck. And now I have clothes, but that was 2 actions. So we go back to the soldier now. And I really want to get the soldier down to the mechanic. So they can, the soldier's going to be pretty good at fighting, and they could protect the mechanic who needs a little bit of protection. But in order to get them together, I mean, there's a lot of noise in the way. So I don't know if I want to just pass now and try and figure it out later, or if I want to try and do a basic movement here to only spend 1 card, but then I'll probably end up in combat unless I roll a 1 or a silence or a danger. But chances are I'd end up in combat. Or I could spend both of these cards to do a careful move, place a noise token there, but it'll probably result in combat later then anyway. So I don't know, kind of in a tough spot, but I guess I'll do a basic move. I'm going to spend covering fire. I'll hold on to nerves of steel to do a basic move back to the laboratory. And now I need to do a noise roll, and I think there's a 60% chance of combat. We get, oh, danger. Okay, great. That's doesn't sound great, but that means I'm not in combat, at least not yet. So we place a noise token here in corridor 1, so we're surrounded by noise pretty fully. And you know what? I am going to move a second time. I'm going to use nerves of steel, even though I'd rather hold on to that, to go over here. And because the mechanic is already in this room, I don't have to roll for noise. So now I at least got them together. So I think that'll be helpful. We go back to the mechanic now, and I'm going to spend the demolition card as the cost to use clothes, and I can either then discard a slime marker or dress 1 serious wound. So let's dress this bleeding wound so that the effect does not continue. So I'm still wounded, but the effect is gone. Close is now discarded. And now I'm going to use this room action. So I'm going to spend these 2 cards, rest and computer skills, leaving me without any cards. And your options when you do this are you can either dress all of your serious wounds, but I've already done that. You can heal 1 dressed serious wound, or you can heal all of your light wounds. So I would like that serious wound to go away, but I really don't want to get a second one since that one's already dressed. So I'm going to heal all my light wounds. Take this cube away. And so that is it for the mechanic. So the soldier has no more cards, no more actions to take. Soldier passes. Go back to the mechanic. Mechanic passes. Now we go into the event phase. So first we move the time track from 14 to 13. So the next round will be time track 13 round. And then intruders would attack, but no characters are in combat. So now we do fire damage, but intruders are not on fire. And we have to resolve an event card. So we get coolant leak. So first, adults, along with any breeders and queens, go through corridor 1. That's good. This adult is going to move away from the nest through corridor 1 to here. And then if there is a malfunction marker in the generator room, start the self-destruct countdown. We have not found the generator room yet, so I don't have to worry about that. Then remove this event from the game and reshuffle the events deck, including the discard pile. So the only card getting shuffled back in is Occlusion. Occlusion? I don't know how to say that. I just know that I hate drawing it. I don't think it's necessarily all that bad, but I definitely remember it killing me once, and now I'm afraid of it. Okay, so the event deck is shuffled, and now we have to do bag development. So we're going to draw 1 token, 1 intruder token from this bag, and we get another adult. So that means each character does a noise roll in turn order. So this could be trouble. The soldier is going to roll first, and we got a 2. So that's going to be an encounter. So we're going to take, well, I guess let me leave those for a second. Let's draw for the encounter. We're going to be encountering, oh, we got a blank. See, that's interesting. So when you're drawing for an encounter and you get the blank token, instead you just add noise to every corridor, and then this goes back in the bag. So that's pretty cool for the soldier, but unfortunately for the mechanic, now they need to roll for noise, because that was the next step in bag development. So let's hope we get silence or danger. Those would be the only things that won't lead to combat. I can't see. That was a 3. Okay. So that's, there's noise in corridor 3. So again, we need to draw a token. I really doubt I'll get that blank again. And we get an adult. Okay, so another adult is going to be showing up here. So let's get one of those. An adult shows up in the emergency room, and the mechanic drew that, and the mechanic has no cards on the back here. You need at least 4 cards, so we are getting surprise attacked. So let's draw the intruder attack card, and we get claw attack. Are these things shuffled at all? So this is the same one the 3rd time. So I've got the adult symbol here. The character suffers 2 light wounds, so 2 light wounds, and gains a contamination card. Not going well for the mechanic, gotta say. I think I might be better off killing the mechanic and trying to get the soldier out of here on a escape pod or something. But that's it for bag development. So now we go into the next round. So we'll pass the first player token over to the mechanic. We'll draw up our 5 cards. Let's start with the soldier. We only have 5 cards, okay. Taking aim, search, demolition, rest, and basic repairs. That's what we've got. So taking aim is probably going to be something I want to use. And for the mechanic, probably get a bunch of contamination. We get contamination, ingenuity, pyrotechnics, technical corridor, and search. So none of these can be used when in combat, which is where we are. And so the mechanic is going first, can't take any of those card actions, but I'm going to take a basic attack action. I think that's what I need to do, this basic shoot. So I'll spend, doesn't really matter, search. Get rid of the search card, and I'm going to shoot this intruder. So I need to spend 1 ammo from my sawed-off shotgun. I don't really know why I need to saw off an energy weapon, but Sure. I don't, I don't know if that's advisable, but I guess I trust the mechanic on it. So we roll. Oh, and that's the creeper symbol. So we miss. So that stinks. Luckily, I've got one more ammo. So let's spend, yeah, technical corridor. Sure. Spend that. Take another basic shoot action. So we roll again. We got to spend this ammo. And we get adult. Okay, so that's going to be one hit. And then let's not forget this vulnerability to energy. So when an energy attack deals at least one damage, deal one additional damage. I'm just going to store these cubes here, sort of near the intruder so we can see. So 2 damage to that intruder. And then we draw an attack card to see what happens. And not only is it another claw attack, seriously, what is going on? But the intruder is going to retreat. So let's draw an event card. They're retreating down corridor 2. So this intruder goes to the laboratory. These cubes are going to kind of follow them around. Okay, super useful there. So I got the soldier and the mechanic together, but the soldier did not really do anything at all. So I don't really have much for the soldier to do. I really need the mechanic to do things. I want the mechanic to take the room action here to get rid of the serious wound, I think, or I guess get rid of these light wounds again. And since it's a green room, I would like the mechanic to actually grab one of those blood tests because I've got so many contamination cards now. Because I don't know that I really want the mechanic to have to go to surgery to get rid of all these cards unless I have to, because that's not really like a great pathway. Maybe I'd be better off just looking for the generator room and starting the self-destruct and then just trying to get them both in an escape pod, because this is already done. The mechanic's got the egg, so if we can get in a pod and get out, that would be okay. So maybe I'm gonna have the soldier move over here, and I'll spend 2. I'll spend basic repairs and demolition. I'll do basic repairs and rest. I'm going to spend these 2 to do a careful move down to here, so I can place a noise token in any one corridor that I choose. And let's see what this room is. Fire control system. I might want to use that. Let's see what our exploration token is. So we're going to draw one of those from this bag, and we get malfunction. Okay, I guess I won't be using the fire control system. So there are 2 items in this room, and it's malfunctioning. So we'll place that here. That'd be another great thing for the mechanic to do. That would be to come down here, fix the malfunction, use the computer to put out that fire in the armory, because that is a risk. So we'll get rid of this exploration token, and we've got to place a noise token. Let's place it here on the 1 corridor, because that was a careful move. And now I think for my next action, I'm going to take a basic movement. I'm going to spend demolition just to come back here with the mechanic. And I don't need to roll for noise because there's already somebody in this room. So now it's the mechanic's turn again. And you know what? I will discard 1 card, Pyrotechnics, to take a blood test. And so that, each character can only do that once per game, and it just goes here in my discard pile. So I'll try and grab that blood test later. Now I've got 1 more turn available to me, or 1 more action, but I've only got this 1 card left because I got this stupid contamination card. So not enough cards to take the room action. So I think I'm just going to pass. And so when I pass, I'll discard this contamination card. I'll hold on to ingenuity for next time, I suppose. Now we're back to the soldier, and I'm realizing I should have searched this yellow room before I came back. Instead of spending demolition to move, I should have ended last turn spending search, grabbing a yellow item, and then moving back. I'm going to retcon that. You can't stop me, I don't think. So let's reduce this down to 1 item, grab a couple yellow items, and we would get either energy charge or clothes. And I would keep energy charge because I think that goes with my auto loader. So I have energy charge. Clothes goes away, goes to the bottom of its deck. I kind of forgot that clothes could be either a green item or a yellow item. So that's how I would have ended the last turn. Now, when I start this turn, I could have used demolition to take that move action and not have to roll because the mechanic's there. And I've got 1 more action available but I think I'm going to pass and just hold on to this card. That's a good one to have in my hand. So now both characters have passed, so we're going to go into the event phase. So we move the time track from 13 to 12, and intruders are not going to attack. There's no intruder fire damage to do, so now we go to an event card, and we have drawn Evacuation Pod Ejection. So launch the escape pod token with the lowest number. That is this one. So this one's gone. Luckily, we're on this half of the board. And then remove this event from the game and reshuffle the event deck, including the discard pile. And the only discarded card is Egg Protection, and we didn't actually draw that event. We just drew it to see what corridor the intruder would run away when we attacked it, and it drew a retreat. So we're going to shuffle that back in the event deck. And now we need to do bag development. And there's no noise right now, so that's good. So we will draw... Ooh, the queen. Okay. This is either no big deal or a massive, massive game-ending problem. I can't remember. Let me look it up. So if we draw the queen, if there are any characters in the nest room, place the queen miniature in that room and resolve an encounter. If there are no characters in the nest, or it's not been discovered yet, add an additional intruder egg to the intruder board and return the token to the bag. Okay, that's good. No big deal then. So we're going to add an egg here. I couldn't remember if the queen would come attack if you were holding an egg, but apparently not. So we're just going to add this back into the bag now. So back into the draw bag it goes, and that was bag development. So now we're going to pass the first player token and start the next round. Each character needs to draw up to 5 cards. So the mechanics already got 1. They draw 1, 2, contamination and interruption, and we need to draw 2 more. So we got to shuffle this deck. Got about 1,000 contamination cards in here. I don't see the mechanic surviving. But if we can complete the objective, that'd be fine with me anyway. Oh, you know what? I drew that event. I got to go back and look at it. Oh, man, oh, no, it's the escape pod one. I don't think I moved the intruders around. I think I need to do that. That's pretty vital. So that was evacuation pod ejection. The adults go through corridor 3. So this adult goes here, and this adult goes here. Let's not skip that step. Luckily, that did not result in an encounter. So I need 2 more cards for the mechanic. I get fast repairs and computer skills. So at least I've got a few cards I could potentially use. And then, of course, my 1 contamination. I didn't get my blood test, so I won't be using that, I suppose. And now I need cards for the soldier who's already got 1 in hand. We've got taking aim, so we shuffle up these other 9 and draw 4. No contamination for the soldier. They're doing just fine. They accomplish their goal, no problem. They don't know what the big deal is with this clumsy mechanic guy. So we're going to we have search, nerves of steel, demolition, and another search. Okay. And first player is the soldier. First player is never who I want it to be, but that's okay. I think I'm going to have the soldier go explore this room. So there's only 2 more number 1 rooms, that one and that one, that have not been explored, I believe. And so one of them is storage, because we've not found that yet for the mechanics quest item, and the other is the generator room. So ideally this will be the generator. That's what I really want, because there is a self-destruct sequence we need to start if we want to unlock that escape pod. So I'm going to have the soldier, let's get rid of search and demolition to do a careful movement and go here. So we'll explore it, and it's storage, of course it is. So I'm gonna have to get all the way up there then. Let's find out what this exploration token is. Go back to the draw bag. Give me a good one. Give me a good one. And we have, the door. That one's not super helpful. So we're closing a door behind us. There's 1 item in storage. Not a very useful storage room, if I do say so myself. It's mostly empty. And that was a careful movement, so I need to place a noise token. And I will put that here on that 3-4 room. And I don't really want to pass, but I don't want to move into the armory yet. So instead, I'm going to do a search action, I think. Yeah. And this is a red room. So this goes from 1 item down to 0. Draw a couple red items. And we have energy charge and evacuation key. If you're in an evacuation section room, lock or unlock one of the escape pods. So that would mean I would not need to get up there to the generator. I could just, I guess, break that door. I think I just got rid of demolition, didn't I? Yeah, I sure did. I could break that door and we could just make a run for evacuation. I don't need the energy charge. I've already got one. So, okay, that's actually really useful. I'm glad I did that. So, I'm sorry, storage room. I didn't mean what I said. So, mechanic now. I'm going to use computer skills. No cost for that action. If you are in a room, no, with a computer. No, what's the other one? Open or close one door in a corridor connected to the room you're in. Perfect. Let's open this door. Okay, that worked out. And now I think for my next action, I will do the room action again. I'm going to spend interruption and fast repairs. I'll keep ingenuity because ingenuity and fast repairs are the same, but ingenuity just has one additional option that I don't actually think I'll use, but it's there. So I'm taking the room action to remove all of my light wounds because I really don't want to get another serious wound because those effects are pretty rough. So now we go back to the soldier and I'm going to discard Nerves of Steel to take a basic move action to now come back down here with the mechanic. So I think my plan, the soldier's going to pass now, done. I think my plan next round is going to be to make a run for that evacuation section B now that I've got that evacuation key. But yeah, the soldier passed. We come back to the mechanic. I will also pass and discard the contamination card. And now we go to the event phase. So the time track goes from 12 to 11, and there is no intruder attack to worry about. We don't have to do any fire damage to intruders. So now we resolve an event card and we get Hunt. So we've only got adults on the board and none of them are going to move. Hunt says move every adult intruder not in combat to a neighboring room with a character if possible. Luckily, that is not possible. If there are several rooms to choose from, move the adult intruder to the room with the lowest room number. So there are no neighboring rooms to either of these adults that have a character. So I think I still move them. I think they just go to the room with the lowest number, if I'm understanding that card correctly. So this is attached to room 4 and 6 and 8. So it's going to go to room 4. And this one only has one option. It's going to go to the laboratory. Okay, so that one is resolved. Actually, you know what? I'm rereading that. I don't think they move. I think they stay. I think they move to a neighboring room if there's a character, if possible. And I think if there are multiple rooms with characters, that's when they move to the room with the lowest number. I think this is where they stay. So anyway, that was the event step. And now we do bag development. Let's grab one of these tokens. We've been getting noise rolls almost every time. We haven't really, I don't think we've gotten a creeper or a larva yet. We get, yeah, an adult. So all characters make a noise roll. Let's not make the same roll, as each other. So the soldier is going to roll first. Let's get silence. 3. Okay. So we'll add a noise token to corridor 3. This goes here. Not really where I wanted it. And then the mechanic is probably going to roll a 3. Let's watch that happen. 4. Okay, noise token here. 1 and 4 would have been better, or 2 and 4, but I'll take I'll take 3 and 4. So now we're going into time tracks at 11. So we pass the first player marker to the mechanic. Everybody needs to draw up to 5 cards. So we've got ingenuity already. I need to draw 4 more. We've got search, pyrotechnics, search again, and technical corridors. Okay. No blood test, no contamination. Soldiers got 1 card, taking aim. Now we get full auto and interruption and covering fire and basic repairs. Okay, not too bad. And the mechanic is going first. Ooh, and if I'm going this way, I do have the option to use pyrotechnics in the nest again. Something about that just seems fun, but I'm not going to do that. And then unfortunately, so I've got this technical corridors movement. I want to get into here. Oh, I can go through the nest. They both have blue. This evacuation section B has both blue and red. I was thinking I wouldn't be able to do that, but let's go ahead and do that double move. So I think my first move, I'm going to do a careful move. I'm going to use search and pyrotechnics because I'm not going to set a fire, as fun as that would be. Search and pyrotechnics to do a careful move into the nest. So I place a noise token in a corridor of my choice. I'm choosing corridor 4. And now my second action, I'm going to spend search, I think, to use technical corridors. So use in a room with a technical corridors entrance. The nest has one. Move your character to any other room with a technical corridors entrance. This one is also a blue one, so let's go here. And you must pass after this action. Now, we know that this is evacuation section B because this is how the B side of this board works, but we still have an exploration token there, so we need to resolve that. So let's get an exploration token. Hopefully it's something good. Malfunction. Yeah, that makes sense. So there's one item in this room, and we'll add a malfunction token. There we go. And we have to pass. So the mechanic's done, but luckily we've got ingenuity here, which will be really easy to discard that malfunction next round. So now it's the mechanic's turn. I am going to do a careful move. I'm going to spend basic repairs and interruption to go from the emergency room to the nest. And I did a careful movement, so I can place a noise token wherever I like. I'm going to place it here. Now I'm going to do another careful movement, and I've got 3 really good combat cards here. Which one do I want to keep? I know I'm going to discard full auto, and let's discard taking aim, because covering fire could allow me to keep moving. So another careful move into whatever room this is. So let's reveal it. And we have the command center, and we need to draw a exploration token. So let's get the draw bag and get something good. No, that is something bad. That's okay. So 3 items in this room, and we drew danger, and there is an adjacent intruder. So that is going to enter this room, and we are going to be in combat. Now, the intruder moving from that room to this room as a result of danger does not trigger an encounter. So I am in combat, but I cannot be surprise attacked. So this might actually work out okay. That was 2 turns for the soldier. I moved once, and then I moved twice. And it was a careful move. Though I just looked this up. And I was incorrect. So, hey, first time for everything, right? When I did this movement, this was a careful movement, and I revealed this. This danger is treated as if it were the result of my noise roll. It replaces my noise roll. But the careful movement means that I don't do a noise roll. So I'm actually not going to move this intruder into my room. I did a careful move, so I'm going to place a noise in a corridor of my choice. So let's do that here. Now, likewise, if this had been a silence, then it would have been kind of like I wasted my careful move because instead of resolving silence, I still would have had to place 1 noise token from the careful move. So I know I've messed that up before too, but at least I got it. At least I got to talk about it for a second on camera here in case you ever run into that. If you do a careful move and then your exploration token has either silence or danger, you ignore the effect and resolve the careful move. So that answer came directly from Awakened Realms. Okay, so the soldier did 2 moves. The mechanic had to pass after going through the technical corridor, so it comes back to the soldier. And you know what? I'm going to spend this card to do a basic move action from here into here, and I don't have to roll for noise because the room is already occupied. Although, here's something else I think I messed up. When the mechanic came in here through the technical corridors, I revealed the exploration token, got that malfunction. I think the mechanic still needed to roll for noise. So even though the soldier didn't need to roll for noise when entering the room, the mechanic should have when they came. So, okay, let me go back. Let me roll for the mechanic. And hopefully this is not an encounter because then that'll mess everything up. Danger. Okay, that will not be an encounter, but it will be a huge pain in the butt. So we put noise there and there. Then the mechanic moves in, then the soldier moves in, does not need to roll for noise because the room is occupied, and the soldier passes. So, okay, that was sort of a wacky turn, but I think we got to the right place. And there's certainly going to be an encounter here at some point trying to get into this escape pod. But We're going to give it a go. So we move to the event phase now. We start by moving this time track from 11 down to 10. So next round, we'll be starting on the 10. And then what else do we do here? Intruder attack, we don't do that. Fire damage, don't have to worry about that. Resolve the event card. So we draw nest. If the nest, first, okay, no movement for the adults that are on the board. We don't have any other intruder types on the board. If the nest room is explored, place a noise marker in each corridor that is connected to the nest. Already got you covered. Do not place a noise marker if one is already present. Okay, so no change there. Now we need to do bag development. Can't wait for this one. We draw another adult. We haven't drawn a larva or a creeper yet, so this goes back in the bag, and each character performs a noise roll. So unless they both get danger and or silence, we are going to have an encounter. And wouldn't you know it, the mechanic is the first player and not the soldier. Not ideal. So mechanic rolls first. 1. That will be an encounter because 1 is this blue technical corridor. So let's draw from the bag, see what is going to be attacking us. We get a larva. Oh, okay. Interesting. So the larva says we must have at least one card in hand and not be, what's it called? Surprise attacked. So luckily the mechanic does have a card in hand, so no surprise attack. So the larva token will just be added to the room. That was a pretty good, or like best case scenario. And now we can remove all the adjacent noise. That actually worked out okay. And so now we go into this round 10. We're going to pass the first player token to the soldier. That's good. Let's draw up to our hand limit of 5 cards. We've got rest, and now we need to shuffle the rest of these. I think the soldier is going to make short work of that larva, which is good. Okay, we've got taking aim, basic repairs, search, and another search. That's what we're looking at for the soldier. And then the mechanic kept ingenuity. Now we draw blood test, contamination card, another contamination card, and rest. Oh boy, oh boy. Okay, well, the soldier is starting, and I'm going to have the soldier spend, let's spend rest. That is the least likely that I'll have any even outside chance of using it. Let's spend rest to shoot the larva. So we're going to spend one of these ammo tokens, and I'm going to roll the combat die, and all I need to do is not roll a blank. Oh, come on. Okay, rolled a blank. Doesn't that just make sense? So I missed. What a waste. All right, we're going to use taking aim. So that cost 0. And I'm going to roll, and taking aim says you may re-roll your first roll. I got to spend another ammo, though. Okay. All right, double shot. Great, good for me. So this larva is defeated, and I suppose it leaves an intruder corpse behind. And that was 2 turns from the soldier. That was very inefficient. Now we go to the mechanic, and the mechanic is going to spend this ingenuity card to discard the malfunction marker in this room. So now the evacuation section is functioning. And now I think I'm going to use blood test. So this costs 0. It says discard all contamination cards in your hand. Now scan all contamination cards from your deck and discard pile. So I don't have one in my deck. My discard pile, I probably have several. Okay, so we're going to scan these. I've got 3 of them. And all I do is I look at them. We do not follow the contamination procedure. So I'm just going to know if I'm infected or not. And then I'm going to put all this stuff and shuffle a new action deck. So let me get my scanner. I say my scanner like it's a thing that I have and carry around. The scanner from the game. Let's check this first card. And any infected on there? No, this one is clean. Okay, let's try the next one. And what does this say? Yeah, this one is clean too. That's good. And how about this third one? Ooh, also good. Okay, so all my contamination cards are not infection cards. That's great. So if I'm able to get some in hand, I'm holding on to this rest card. I might be able to use rest. All right, so what does this say? Scan all your cards, has no additional effect. After that, shuffle your action deck and discard pile to create a new deck. So that was the second action on the mechanic's turn. First, we got rid of the malfunction, and now we know at least what's going on with our contamination cards. So if I can get some of them in my hand next turn, I'll use rest to remove them, and that'll make it more likely that I will survive if I can ever get into this darn escape pod. It's going to take me like 10 turns to get in there. Okay, so this is the mechanic's new action deck, but that was 2 actions from the mechanic. So now it goes to the soldier, and I'm going to spend basic repairs as the cost to use the evacuation key. So it has a cost of 1 use only. If you're in an evacuation section room, lock or unlock one of the escape pods in that section. So we will unlock pod number 2. And now this is discarded. So that was pretty good. And I think I will take a search action. I'll take another action here. So how many items are in this room? Oh, only 1. Okay, well, now there's 0. So this is the white room type. So I can choose any one of the 3 types of items. And I'm going to go with yellow. So we get chemicals or fire extinguisher. That's what I wanted. So chemicals lets you fully load ammo and a flamethrower, which I don't have. Fire extinguisher, you can discard either a fire marker in the room you're in or use on one intruder in the room you're in and it retreats. That is handy. That'll help me to get the heck out of here, because I think I very much need the mechanic to get in the escape pod first and then the soldier to get in behind. So that was 2 actions from the soldier. We go back to the mechanic. They pass. Go back to the soldier. They pass. We go to the event phase. Advance the time track so it goes down to spot 9. Again, we are not in combat. No fire damage on intruders, so we resolve another event. And we get regeneration. Adults do not move again, and each intruder on the board heals 2 injuries. Well, this one is not injured. This one has exactly 2 injuries, so I'm just going to remove those cubes now, and this event goes away. And finally, we do bag development, and this is where it's all going to fall apart. Shuffle. Oh, no, these are exploration tokens. Wrong bag. Here we go. 1 token. Make it a good one. Make it a good one. We have, oh, great, a larva. So finally, we replace that token with an adult token. I'm really surprised we hadn't drawn one of those yet in the bag development phase. So now we go into the next phase. We've got time track at 9. We pass the first player marker over here. Draw up to our hand limit of 5 cards. The mechanic gets 4 more. Demolition, blood test, computer skills, and search. I think we're going to be in good shape. The soldier already has search and now gets interruption, covering fire, nerves of steel, and demolition. The mechanic starts, and I didn't get any contamination cards, so I'm not going to be able to do the rest. I'm going to spend search and blood test. I don't need blood test again. And I'm going to use those 2 to take the room action to get into the escape pod. So the room is functioning, the pod is unlocked, there are empty spaces, so we must perform a noise roll, and we get a 3, okay? So we resolve the noise roll. 3 is this red technical corridor. We do that, no intruder appears, so the mechanic gets into the pod. Now, I guess I could troll myself and just launch it, but I will pass. And now we go to the soldier. So I'm going to have the soldier spend interruption and search to do the room action as well. Get in the escape pod. So we need to do a noise roll. And if we do get an intruder, we've held on to covering fire, which I guess I wouldn't use. I've got nerves of steel just in case, so I wouldn't have to take an immediate attack. And I've got fire extinguisher and enough cards to spend that I can get the intruder out. So let's give it a go. We don't want to roll a 3, but I've got a plan if we do. 1. All right. So a noise token goes into this technical corridor. There is no intruder, so the mechanic now gets into the escape pod and launches it. So these guys are out of here. So let's go ahead and do our end of game checks now. So first is the engine check. We see if the ship explodes. It doesn't matter for either of the objectives that we had, but let's find out anyway. Got 1 damaged engine, 1 working engine. Oh, and 1 damaged engine. So the ship explodes. Good thing we're on the escape pod. The next thing we would check doesn't matter because the ship has exploded, but I am just curious. We're going to destination B, which is the default. Where are we headed, since we never revealed this card? We are going to deep space, so that'd be bad too. Earth was destination D in this on this card. So that's okay. We were headed to deep space, but the ship exploded. We were on an escape pod anyway. So next is the contamination check. Each character checks all their contamination cards, and the soldier does not have any. So they're going to pass that. And the mechanic has 3, but we just scanned them a moment ago with blood test, and we know that none of them are infected. So we don't have to do the infection check. And then, of course, neither character has a larva token on their character board. So we passed the contamination check. That's amazing. So now let's check the solo objectives. For the soldier, or the co-op objectives, I'm sorry. For the soldier, place the blue character corpse object in the surgery room. We know that that's done. And then for the mechanic, finish the game in an escape pod or hibernation with an intruder egg, and we've done it. So we actually accomplished both of the goals. So that's pretty amazing. I had a good time with that. I thought I was toast, like on turn 2 or 1, when the mechanic was in the nest and already being attacked with an egg, and the soldier had gone the other direction, and there were 2 closed doors between them. I thought, like, all right, this game's over before it started. But that was really fun. I'm glad I stuck with it. And I think it worked out okay having the two-handed. I think it was a little bit messy with like the cards in hand, but I think it was doable. So let me know in the comments if you could tell what the heck was going on, because I think I would like to continue playing it two-handed. That was pretty cool. So if that's how you would like this series to continue, let me know, because that will let me show twice as many of the characters. If I'm only playing one at a time, I'm just not going to get to all of them. But that was a solo playthrough, two-handed, of Nemesis, and we got to see the blood test in action. That was neat, because I do like using the blood test cards. I almost always include them, but don't very often have a chance to use them. But there was a really good use case this time, so that was neat. And then I also showed the B side of the board. We got a good play on that. So overall, really happy with that playthrough. That was a lot of fun. Glad I got to do this. So I hope you enjoyed it too. If you noticed any mistakes that I did not catch, please do let me know in the comments. And then I don't think I'm particularly good at playing this game. So if you've got any strategy tips, I will gladly take those too. But otherwise, just let me know what you think of the playthrough. And again, let me know what you think of two-handed. Could you kind of see everything on the screen? I think I managed it okay, but I'd be curious to get your take on it. Otherwise, I'll be back in a couple weeks with more Nemesis rules refresher videos and solo playthrough. And you can find it all in my Nemesis playlist during this season of Nemesis in the summer of 2025, going from July to about Halloween. And if you don't want to miss any of that, please do consider subscribing to the channel if you've not done so yet. Leave a like on the video so I know that this is the type of content you want. Don't forget that you can share it if somebody else might enjoy it. And you can always head over to my Ko-fi page, ko-fi, and make a donation to the channel. It's kind of like Patreon, except I don't have anything locked behind paywalls. So I just try to give everybody instant access to everything. And if you want to help make that possible, then the Ko-fi page is the way to do it. And I suppose all the other viewers of the channel who get to enjoy the content without any paywalls, everybody appreciates it, but especially me. Anyway, that's what I've got this time on Table for One. I had an awesome time playing. I hope you enjoyed watching. I'm looking forward to talking to you about it in the comments, and I will see you in the next video. Take it easy.